Hello students, how are you? In today's class we shall study we shall start our new chapter, that is concept of demand. What is demand? What are the concepts of the demand? We shall learn about them. So first of all, let us see what is the definition of demand. Demand is an economic principle referring to a consumer's desire to purchase goods and services and willingness to pay a price for the specific good or service. So if we read again it, demand is an economic principle referring to a consumer's desire to purchase goods and services. That means demand of goods and services both. We cannot say कि desire of purchasing goods or demand of purchasing services only will be called demand. No, both of them, desire to purchase any of them will be called desire, and willingness to pay a price for a specific good and services. It has three factors. First of all, desire. There must be a desire. Let us take an example. They are selling Jio fiber in our city, and they are claiming at least on the face value their plans are looking very attractive, but I don't want to buy them. I have no desire to buy them, so this I will not constitute demand. So it will be not demand. Now, second is desire. First is desire. Second means to purchase it, which means I must have some money by which I could purchase something. For example, okay, I like Jio fiber, but their charges are too high, and I cannot afford to install Jio fiber in my home because of high charges. So that means I don't have means, or in other words, I don't have enough money every month to buy this Jio fiber. Third is willingness to spend means on. Okay, I have desire. I think okay that yes, Jio fiber is good. I have money. I can pay their monthly bill, and I can pay their one-time charges and all the time to time this charge and that charge, all the charges. But I have no desire. I have no willingness to spend my money on the Jio fiber because I am happy with my mobile data. I am doing all whatever I want to do. And the second thing, there is no much use of Jio fiber in my home because everybody is having a mobile phone and have mobile data in that, so I don't have use. And for landline I have BSNL. So I have desire, I have money, but I do not want to will. I do not will, or I do not wish to spend my money on that. This is third factor. Now, if either of these three factors is absent, which means either there is no desire, there could be something that I am buying, just say under the pressure, then that is not my desire and that will not constitute demand. Second, I may not have money. I have desire and I have willingness to pay, but I don't have money. Or I have desire, I have money, but I don't want to spend my money on that. Take another example of, let us say, Zomato. Zomato supplies good food. Now there are two cases. I have desire to use Zomato so I could get good quality food at my home, sitting at my home in the comfort of my home. And otherwise, I do not want or I do not desire to to avail Zomato. Why? There may be any n number of reasons. Second, I must have money because I know that Zomato is bringing something to me. They will be adding some delivery charges, some of their profits to the profits which restaurant from which they are bringing food. That restaurant will be also earning something, and I don't have that much money to spend a plate of rice or a bowl of curry, a plate of curry on that. Third, I have desire, okay, I want to use Zomato and I have money, but I am not willing to pay Zomato for that. Why? Because I don't believe in Zomato services. I have heard that Zomato delivery persons, delivery boys taste the food in the middle of the way when bringing the food to me. So I don't want to avail. So for demand, there should be all of these factors: desire, means of purchase it, and willingness to spend money. All of these three factors must be applicable. Then only a want is called demand. Now there are 5 determinants of demand. Determinants, that means there are 5 factors which decide or which affect the demand. First is price of goods and services, which means what is the price. If say let us say Ford car is too costly, so price is high, so I am not the demand segment for the Ford car. Price of the related project, whether they are substitute or complementary. Substitutes are, let us say Maruti car is substitute of Ford car, and supplementary goods are, let us say, diesel or petrol, depending upon the version. Car stereo, car covers, car air fresheners, etc. They are complementary. They complement the car. They complement the experience car is giving me. Third is consumers' income. Because either I am thinking that price of Ford is too high, I do not want to pay that price, so that is the price. Income, I think that Ford car value for the money, but I don't have that much money. I think that Ford car is reasonable on 8 lakh rupees or 9 lakh rupees, but I do not have 8 lakh rupees or 9 lakh rupees or that much credit score which could provide me loan. Fourth, buyer's case. Maybe I have both of. I think price is good. I think I have money, and price of substitutes or price of complementary goods are within my range, but I don't like Ford car. I like Maruti because they give more mileage, or I prefer Hyundai, they give better service, or I prefer Tata because they are a reliable name, they are Indian. So buyer's case. Expectations about the future price will go up. Now suppose there is news that for any reason, say it could be the cost of the production, or some new technology being introduced, or government is going to increase its taxes. There could be any reason. I am thinking, or I am sure that in the next year or within next few months, Ford car will be costlier than today itself. So what will I do? I will go and buy the Ford car, so I could avail the benefits of comparatively lower prices. So this is the fifth factor which affects the timing of demand. This fifth factor actually affects the timing of the demand when I want to buy. Similarly, it could be in the case that okay, I want to buy car, but I am not in a hurry, and I am thinking that okay, since government is going to apply BS6, and so BS5 vehicles will be cheaper than today, so I will wait till the deadline for BS5 or BS6 vehicles. Then after that, because company will be eager to dispose of its BS5 cars, they will sell it cheaper and I will get it at lower prices, so I may postpone my demand. Demand is related to price, that is demand of at particular price, which means demand is always related to price. How? Either I could be thinking that price of that good or service is too high, that good or that service do not deserve that much high price, then I will not buy that. Or if I think that okay, price is okay, but I don't have that much money. So in both of the cases, demand is heavily dependent upon the price. As we have seen that when this corona was started and nobody was getting sanitizers at any price, or if sanitizer was at higher price, demand went down and people started looking for another options. Or more appropriate example, tobacco. Chewing tobacco was skyrocketing. Those prices were skyrocketing. So what people did, either they turned to the substitutes, or many of them quitted the chewing of tobacco. So price works on demand. Now market demand. What is market demand? Sum of demand of all the individual consumers in that market at given price. Which means, let us take an example of mangoes. Mangoes, a particular brand of mango, let us say, which mango? Badami. Let us say Badami mango is coming at 100 rupees per kg price. And a vendor is selling them, and there are 10 people who are willing to pay 100 rupees per kg for that particular Badami yam. So those 10 people will be considered as market demand of that Badami yam, because all of those 10 have desire, have money and willing to pay. They may not be liking Badami yam, they may be not in the position of the purchasing, or they may be thinking that 100 rupees per kg is too high. There could be, let us say, 40 people also who came to that shop, inquired about the prices and went away. So those 40 people are not market demand. Those 10 people which actually purchased, or actually in the position of purchasing, those 10 people are marketing demand. If I add them. Now, out of them, one may be buying 1 kg, some may be buying 2 kg, some may be buying 5 kg, but all of them are constituting demand. Now, what is demand schedule? It is a total that shows the quantity of demand of a good or service at different price levels. It is basically a table in which demand and quantity both are enlisted in two separate columns. That table is called demand schedule. While preparing it, only effects of change in price are taken into account. While we are preparing it, we will take changes in the price only while preparing. We will not look about income, taste or any other factors. We will look just only for price. All factors affecting demand are taken constant. That means taste, income, all the other factors, substitute, complementary, all the factors, we will say that they are constant, they are not changing. Types of demand schedule: individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. Individual demand schedule: a schedule of various commodities which an individual consumer purchase at different hypothetical, that means that price is not actual, that is hypothetical, that is in the imagination. Prices that table which is depicting, which is displaying, which is showing a particular an individual demand of a particular commodity, of some of commodities of different quantities at different prices, that is called demand schedule for individual or individual demand schedule. This is the sample of individual demand schedule. Let us say there is something which is having price of 25 rupees, 50 rupees, 75 rupees and 100 rupees. Quantity demanded by that particular individual is 1000 gram at 25 rupees. Prices went higher, his demand came down lower. So it became 750 grams at 50 rupees. Prices went further high and his demand came down for more. Now it becomes 500 grams. At 100 rupees, he reduced his demand more and took it to 250 grams. It was an example, let us say, for onions. Actually, I like to quote examples from our daily life. So we have often seen that if onion is at 17 or 18 rupees kg, our mother used to buy 5 kg, 10 kg in single purchase. But when prices start going high, she starts decreasing the purchase. And if onions reaches to the range bracket of 100 kilo rupees per kg or so, she totally stops using onions in any curry, in any preparation. Why? Because she thinks, she believes, and she rightly believes that onion does not value 100 rupees per kg at any cost. So this is individual. Now market demand schedule. Market demand schedule represents quantities of commodity which all consumers buy at all possible price at a given moment of time, which means first of things it should be at particular time. Maybe it may be that I want to buy that thing at right now. I may change my time. I might change my demand. I can change my mind. I may not be willing to buy it in the near future, or maybe I am not interested in buying it now, but I can become interested in the future. So at that particular moment. And individual, let us say I want to buy mangoes, and all of you 5 also want to buy mangoes at different prices. We will buy different things. Then if we add demand of overall demand, then it will be called market demand schedule. Here I am quoting an example where only 2 buyers are and project is 1. So when price was 25 rupees, consumer A wanted to buy 1000 gram or 1 kg, while consumer B, either having much interest in that project or having much more money in his or her pocket, he was willing to buy 1100 grams. So total market demand was at that point 21,000. When prices went high and became 50 rupees per kg, Demand by consumer A was 750 grams and demand by consumer B was 800 grams, and total market demand was 1550 grams. Prices went further high and became 75 rupees. Demand of consumer A came down more and now he is willing to buy 500 grams only, while consumer B thought, okay, at this price I will buy only 475 grams. So total market demand at that particular price is 975 rupees, 975 grams. At 100 rupees, consumer A wants to buy only 250 grams and consumer B wants to buy 300 grams. So market demand is 550 grams, and demand cannot be varying at the same time. So these are on the different times. So this is the explanation of at given point of time. In the next class, we shall study about demand curves, market demand curve, etc., and look into the determinants of demand in some detail. Till then, enjoy, have a nice day, God bless you.